Hello and welcome to another day on Cornwall Pocket Farm, where I try and figure out how to live sustainably on 300 square metres in the city. Today we're in the garden. It's the middle of winter and I've got a few plants that I need to move around. There are a few things that are, you put them in and then they're not quite in the right place, or something else grows and gets a bit bigger than you think and then it's covering something else. So I've got a few roses that I need to move around. We've actually decided what we're going, we've come up with a plan of what we're going to do in that top border, the one where I always go, oh, I don't really know what this is supposed to be, I haven't come up with a plan yet. Well, we've come up with a plan. We've decided we want to make it a scented border, which sort of kicked off because I've got the Daphne in there and it's absolutely delightful at the moment. It's flowering and the scent is incredible. It's a Daphne alba, so it's a white one, really delicious. So that sort of kicked it off. We also have the wedding day rose in there that goes over the arch on our entranceway, and that, when it's in bloom and flowering, is just, the scent is amazing. So that sort of kicked off this idea that that border should be a scented border. So I've got a gardenia that a friend gave me. It's in a pot at the moment, but if we have a really hot summer, I don't think it's going to be happy there. So I'm going to put that gardenia in. I have another dwarf gardenia as well, which I'm going to pop in. And I've also got a clematis, a scented clematis. Now I can't remember the name of the scented clematis, but I'll put it on the screen. How about that? So that's to go in as well. And they're all white. All those flowers are white. I've got a few things to take out of there, which, they're just things that have just ended up there over time. So I'm going to hoik those out and then I'm going to put those new plants in. So that's pretty exciting. And also I want to prepare for my vineyard, because I'm going to put a vineyard in the pocket farm. It's going to be a pocket vineyard. I have one grape which I sort of put on the pergola to sort of help the Albany surprise that wasn't doing very well. But of course, as soon as I put in this other grape, the Albany surprise decided it, a bit worried, it kicked off. So now I don't need that other grape. So that was the catalyst really. I'm going to move that to the back of the chicken coop, and I have ordered 2 more grapes of the same variety, Moore's Diamond, which is a grape that's quite good for making wine, white wine. And I make homemade wine. I usually make country vegetable wines. I make it out of elderberries and, oh, that's great. The bin men are here. That is one of the issues about having a farm in the middle of the city, is there's often a little bit of noise. Buses going past, which is great because you get to use public transport, and you have a regular bin collection service, which is great, but they do make a bit of noise. Anyway, hopefully they'll hurry up and move on. So as I was saying, I do make my own homemade wine. I generally make it out of things I grow in the garden, vegetables. They're sort of country wines. So I make it out of like elderberries and blackberries, and I have made cucumber wine as well, which is, mixed results. But anyway, so I thought I'd try my hand at sort of actual wine made out of grapes. So that's the challenge. I figure with 3 grapevines, I might be able to make a very small amount of wine, but anyway, we'll see. These Moore's Diamond, you can actually eat them as table grapes as well. So if I don't get enough for wine, then I can always eat the grapes. So I want to set up the area and get ready for those grapes to arrive, and so that I can put those in quite easily. So yes, as I say, I'm just moving a few things around in the garden, so I thought I'd bring you along with me and show you what I'm doing. Anyway, I'll see you in the garden. Okay, so this rose here, this one went in at the same time as the Madame Alfred Carrier rose that is now climbing all around on our pergola and is looking stunning. This one never really got off the ground, and as you can see, the top part of it is pretty dead. So I've got a new rose to replace it, and I'm going to take this one out, but I don't want to waste it because I'm going to chop it right back, and I'm going to try moving it to a different spot and see if it comes away, just give it another chance. So the first thing I've got to do is cut it down and try and take off some of these fairly vicious spikes. It's pretty, it's got a little life here, so I'm actually just going to take it to there, take that off. grown over there. Okay, so now it's a much smaller rose to handle, and I know that this bit here still has green on it, so I'll dig it out and see if I can get it into the new position. And as you can see, it's pretty mixed up with some other stuff, so I'm going to have to do a bit of weeding and pulling out of things so I can get at it. It's just, what have I got here? Oh, more rose. What's that? So it's just really some nasturtium. These grow all over the place. A little bit of grass. A few weeds. So I'm just going to get these out, and then okay, hopefully I should be able to get at it now to dig into it. Right, not the easiest to get to. Not the easiest to get to. But crash bash. Right, let's see if I can get this out. This could take a bit of effort, but we will see. Okay, success. I have it out. There it is. Oh, there's a big worm in there too. I don't think it really got a very good purchase here. So we're going to move it into its new spot. Okay, so I've dug a little bit of a hole for it here. Whether it's a bit tight, whether it's the right sort of size, I think it is. And I think it needs to go up to the same sort of height. Oop. Probably need to dig it out just a little bit more, I think. Roses, they get you. And then figure out which way to grow it. I think probably like that. That's probably going to be the job. So I've got the rose in position now, and I'm hoping that if it does like this position better and grow a bit taller, because it was supposed to be a climbing rose, if it actually does decide it likes this spot and starts to climb, then it can always take this post here and climb up this post. If it decides it's not going to do much, well, it'll be fine there, and if it dies, well, it dies. I just didn't want to sort of biff it if it's still got some life in it. We'll see how it goes. Now, the next thing to do is to plant my new rose, and this new rose, I've got it over here. So this new rose I got from Wairiri Nurseries, and it is Altissimo. Again, it's supposed to be a climbing rose. It's a more open rose. That one is Dublin Bay, and it's more of a traditional, it's got beautiful blooms. This one is more of an open rose. It's like more of an open one where you can see the stamens. So yeah, I'm hoping this is going to be okay. Now, what I've heard from my friend is that you shouldn't plant a rose where a rose has been. So yeah, well, I am going to. So, but what I probably will do is take out some of that soil that was around that rose, maybe try and put it in a slightly different position. As you saw when I took the roots out of there, it hadn't really grown much, so it hadn't really put out many roots either. So I'm hoping that this one, if I move it slightly and put some nice compost around it, maybe it'll do a bit better. We can only hope. Okay, well, I'll get on with that and I'll bring you back when I've got it in position. It's in. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I really want a rose in this position, so I'm hoping that this one kicks off and does well, and that maybe it isn't the position, maybe it was just that rose that didn't like this spot, and I'm hoping this one does, so we'll see. Okay, this is the next rose. This rose I put around here before this orange got really that big. And it's a beautiful rose. It's Jacqueline Dupre. It smells divine and it's so beautiful. And literally I just don't appreciate her here, and she's also getting squozen out by this orange tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this right back and again move it over to where I can see it. This rose is particularly spiky. It's absolutely vicious. Okay, ready for moving now, I think. So these now I'm going to chop up and put on my banana bed composting system, and that's because they're spiky and I wouldn't want to put them in my chicken run because the spines could get into the chicken's feet. Okay, so this is my new position for Jacqueline du Pré. In this position she'll have the whole fence to climb up, she'll get lots of sun, and when I come out to put the washing out or put something in the bin, I'll be able to see her and smell her. And she is such a beautiful rose that I really want to, I just want to see her more, to be honest, because round the corner she was a bit hidden and I didn't see her unless I made a point of going round there. Okay, so I've planted out my scented border. That is the beautiful Daphne. It's Daphne alba, so it's a white one, absolutely stunning. So that's in flower and it's delightful. And then what I've got here is I've planted two gardenias. So this is the gardenia that my friend gave me that's been doing so well, and I got another little one from a garden centre. I'm not sure if they're the same, they might be different, but they're both dwarf gardenias. And then this here is the trailing clematis. It's a clematis that doesn't actually climb. I have a clematis here that's actually just, it's just coming into leaf actually. It's a beautiful red one. It's called Cardinal Red. So, well, it's sort of reddy purple really. So I've got this one that climbs up here, but this one actually is more of a sort of a clump mat forming ground cover type. So apparently it has delightful scented flowers, white again. So all of this hopefully will be white. I've got some gaps in between, so I need to just maybe get some little annuals, or I'm not quite sure what's going to go in between here, but something that probably white actually. And maybe if I can get something with a fragrance, that would be lovely. Anyway, that's planted up now, so great. This actually now has a personality. So it's scented here, and then it goes down into the lavender border, which again is scented. So I'm really pleased with that, and now we have personalities to all of the borders that go down our main path. So it's taken a while, but sometimes it just takes some time to get inspiration. Okay, so this grape is now in. This is the first of the Moore's Diamond grapes. I had it over there and I've battled it out. These have long roots, but I managed to get it out and put it back in here. And of course it's dormant, so hopefully it will kick off and be quite happy. But I've just realised that actually today all I'm doing is showing you a bunch of sticks. But if you're into gardening, then you probably don't worry about just being shown sticks. But yes, here's another stick, and it's a grape, and this is part of my vineyard. I'm going to have one here, I'm going to have one at the end down by Jacqueline du Pré Rose, and then one in the middle. And I'm going to basically train them like they do in vineyards. You know, when you have like a sort of a high hedge. I figure it can grow along here quite happily in the sun. It'll be out of the reach of the chickens, and I should be able to have just one mini vineyard at the back of my chicken run. And in other news, we have some germination. Look at that. I don't know if you can see. We have rainbow chard up. We have onions poking their heads through. There's a red amposta. The white onions were given to me by a friend, and I'm not sure how old they are. No show yet, so I'll give it a few more days, and if nothing comes up, then I'll sow some other white onion seeds that I have. The tomatoes are up. Look at that. Yeah, I think we've got germination in all three sorts, so that's exciting. No show in the other trays, but takes a bit of a time for peppers and aubergine to come up. Well, it's the next day now, but my vineyard has arrived. I put in the one grape, the one Moore's Diamond that I had in a different part of the garden yesterday, as you would have seen already, but I ordered two more from Edible Gardens, and they've arrived. So they're bare rooted, so I need to get out there and get them in the ground. So that's my job. The weather is revolting. It is squalling, it is rainy, it is blowing a gale. So whether I'll be able to say anything when I'm out there, I don't know. Anyway, come along with me and we'll get those in. Okay, so these are the grapes. There should be two in here. They're very well packaged. There's some extremely impressive knots here, so I have to take note. Anyway, I need to get them out of all their packaging and dig the holes ready. I don't want them to be exposed to the air for very long, so I'll probably get the holes dug first and then unwrap them. I'm going to put one here. I've got something that's died. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm pretty sure it's dead. Yeah, that's dead. So that's going to come out, and I'm just going to squeeze it in here. Oh, the sun's come out. Yay, quick! Okay. Some very fancy knot tying down here. So anybody else would probably just cut the string with the scissors that I have here, but I want to keep the string. I like string. I'm going to save the string and use it for something else. Hello, Maggie. You can't see what I'm doing. Hello, yes, I am untying this string. You helping? It's our vineyard. Cheers. Yeah. Maggie's been fast asleep in her bed. She looks out the window and it's raining and she's like, nah, I'm indoors today. She obviously decided it's safe to come out. Extremely well packaged and very quick to arrive as well. So yeah, I've had some things from edible gardens before, and they've been very good quality. So yeah, I'm pleased with these. Yay! Okay. So 2 nice grapes. I've just got to decide in which hole they go. So right, let's go and put them in the holes. My holes are going to have to be a bit bigger. That one might go there, actually. Right, okay. This soil's a bit wet, but anyway, we can hopefully get it in there. Break it up so it goes around the roots. I'm going to try and get it in at the same height as it seems to have been planted in the ground. I'll put a little bit more soil around it because the soil will settle in. So I'll build it up just a little bit. Right, that's one. Just going to have to widen this hole. I think it just needs a little. This one's got bigger roots. Are you watching me? Hey, checking my work. Are you? Checking my work, seeing if it's good enough. Am I doing a good job? Okay, so they're in now. It's very important when the bare roots to get them in the ground as quick as you can, because the roots will dry out. So they're in. I shall just leave them. I shan't actually. I'll tie them in, of course, and I'll give them a really good water but I won't actually fiddle with them too much until they start to bud up a little bit, and then I'll decide probably which one is going to be my leader. But to start with, they just need to get sort of bedded in, if you like. That one was already, I'd trained it into a single leader, so that one was easy to put in, the one that came from further over there in my garden. But these ones are sort of multi-stemmed, and I'm not really sure which one is going to be the primary one just yet. Okay, well that's it. The weather held off, which was great. I managed to get my new pocket vineyard in, which is very exciting. And I also moved a couple of other things around. A small rose that a friend gave me, I actually added that to the scented border because it occurred to me that it had a scent. So I thought, and it was white, so yay. So that's gone in as well. And I popped in a couple of seedlings. So I'm all done. The next big job is pruning, but that's pretty much it for the sort of the winter, moving the chairs, sort of moving everything around. Hello, guess what time it is? Yes, it's a walk time, isn't it, Maggie? So I'll say goodbye and I will see you next time. Will you see you next time, Maggie? We will. We'll see you next time. Bye.